What's going on, everyone? So, I want to talk about our three players that we acquired this year that have really been standouts. One in a relatively negative light, two in a very positive light, right? This game, we play Minnesota, and Minnesota is arguably the most important game we have left in this run of 6 games. And the Lakers are trying to get at least in that seventh spot, ideally in the sixth spot. But we got to take it one game at a time. And this is a game in which we have three guys that played for the team that we are playing tonight, and one recently, and we didn't have him in the last game, right? So the last time we played Minnesota, we lost that game. We lost it by 8, 110 to 102, but it felt like a game that we absolutely should have and could have won. It really kind of just boiled down to just missed opportunities in many ways, right? We didn't have the best game. We actually did out rebound them offensively, and the rebounding was actually closer than it was. But now they have Karl Anthony Towns back. We didn't have LeBron or D'Lo in that game, and it really felt like that could have been the difference. So we need a dominant LeBron. We need a dominant Anthony Davis. But this is also the D'Angelo Russell revenge game in Minnesota. Against the team that traded him, a team that they kind of seem to have bad blood, right? They went and got Mike Conley because they wanted some maturity. They wanted some veteran leadership. D'Angelo Russell, even while he was on Minnesota, had a lot of negative things to say, especially about Rudy Gobert, right? And he's been great for us. D'Angelo Russell has really thrived with this team. Jared Vanderbilt, he was on Minnesota. Minnesota ended up trading him as part of the Rudy Gobert deal. Vanderbilt, he's been a real bright spot and X factor for us, a guy just defensively that knows the team. The last time we played Minnesota, Jared Vanderbilt gave us 8 points, 5 rebounds, was 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, and had 2 steals. And he was very solid for the Lakers in that game. And then Beasley has had his struggles. He has been rough, and he kind of just seems to be in his own head in a lot of ways. We really need him to wake up. We really do. And if any game was going to wake up Beasley, it would be this Minnesota game, right? And even in comparison, the last Minnesota game, he played 32 minutes. He had 15 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and he also had 1 steal. But he was 3 of 6 from 3, which isn't the high volume, right? He didn't shoot, 8 threes and go 8 for 11, but still he shot 50%. 3 threes is solid. I'll take 3 threes. But he also got to the foul line, made some free throws, and was 5 of 11 from the field total, right? So had a decent night. Wasn't that a lights out Malik Beasley? But hey, it's a start. If we could give me that same type of game from Beasley, that is a great step in the right direction for him to start waking up, right? These 3 guys want to ball out. Jared Vanderbilt, he's going to be a huge factor because we have to contain Anthony Edwards. We cannot let Anthony Edwards go crazy, right? He's a guy that can absolutely go off and change the tide of this game. And so to have Jared Vanderbilt and his ability to guard smaller players, that is massive. Especially Minnesota, this is just as important, just as significant, just as meaningful as it is to us. And they have the inherent advantage because they are home. They are in Minnesota. But we have shown that we are a resilient road team. We are a good road team, and we can win on the road. And we need to prove that, right? Minnesota is coming off of a tough loss against Phoenix, which Minnesota should have won that game. Rudy Gobert made some bad decisions down the stretch. You had a couple other guys just clumsy. Couple things just didn't go well. Guys didn't really shoot very well. Outside of Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, no one else was really that great. I mean, Rudy had 7 points. You had Mike Conley, who was 3 of 13. Daniels was 3 of 8, 0 of 2 from 3. And then you had Naz Reid, who he gave you 15, but he was still 5 of 13 from the field. They're not supposed to have Naz Reid, so that's going to be huge for the Lakers. But they do have size and length and advantage against us, right? You're going to have Anthony Davis match up against Rudy Gobert. Anthony Davis gave us 38-5, I believe, in the last Minnesota game. We may very well need that in this game. Again, we didn't have LeBron and we didn't have D'Angelo Russell. That is going to make a huge difference. But they also didn't have Karl Anthony Towns in the first matchup. Now, I do think LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell outweigh the return of Karl Anthony Towns, but he also becomes a mismatch issue, right? Because now you probably have LeBron guarding Towns, because I don't see them putting LeBron on Edwards. And Towns now with Rudy Gobert, he's kind of more of like a 6'8 guy rather than a 7-foot guy, right? The way that he plays with Minnesota now, it's a lot of three-point shooting. Even in the Suns game, he took 10 threes, was 5 of 10 from three. LeBron has got to try to challenge that, got to be kind of just in his face. Obviously, Towns has the height advantage, but we can beat this team. We can absolutely beat this team. Vanderbilt, you don't necessarily have to start him on Edwards, but if Edwards starts getting carried away, you move Jared Vanderbilt on Edwards, right? You're going to need Vanderbilt also to help you with rebounding and stuff like that. So, if you can have him kind of in that in-between, that would be nice. But if you have to check Edwards, you check Edwards. Vanderbilt's going to be a huge factor. Again, Beasley, we really need him to wake up. I know a lot of people are like, hey, don't play him or whatever. We need Beasley, especially for the playoffs. We need to unlock him some way, somehow, whatever it takes. Because if we can, you're talking about some insane value. Talk about a guy that could give you, 6 to 8 threes on a nightly basis, playing next to LeBron James, right? We got Malik Beasley for LeBron James, to give him that guy, that dead-eye shooter, that's, sniper that can just go off on a nightly basis, right? And Beasley, he's a high-volume shooting guy. You see with those guys, they'll have 10-game stretch where they're, 0 of 6 or 2 of 11 or something like that. And then you'll see them have a 10-game stretch where they're, 6 of 11, 8 of 11, 7 of 11, stuff like that. And we've seen Beasley be able to do that. Beasley's had games where he's gone and knocked down 6, 7, 8 threes, right? So we need to kind of start shifting Beasley into that direction. I'm not even saying he has to give us 8 threes a night, but can he give us 4 to 6 a night? That would be great. Again, if he could give us 15, spread the floor, and make it to where teams really have to contest him and keep a guy glued to him, right? And make things difficult, then beautiful, because that just opens up so much more for LeBron and Davis and Schroeder and even Rui and D'Lo and just everybody, right? And if Beasley was ever going to right the ship, it would be against Minnesota, right? You're in Minnesota, you're familiar with it, you've shot on the hoops countless times. You're familiar with the home crowd. You're familiar with the players that are going to be guarding you, all that stuff. Yeah, last time you played, you actually had a decent game. We need more of that. We need Beasley to kind of get back, right the ship, and hopefully have an effective, efficient game. Not saying he has to go off for 30, but can you give us 4 to 5 threes? That would be beautiful. To me, that'd be a home run. If he could give us 15 to 20 points this game, that would be, to me, I'm happy. I'm hyped. I'm stoked. I'm ready to go, right? I'm back on the Beasley train. Let's go. Load it up. Now, granted, we need to see more, but he may be able to get in that rhythm, right? Because if he can get it in this Minnesota game, our next 2 matchups are against the Rockets and the Jazz, which he's going to be able to get good looks against those 2 teams. And a volume shooter, a three-point shooter, a guy that likes to shoot the ball, when they start seeing the ball go in the hoop and they start getting that confidence, they start feeling themselves, all of a sudden that narrative can change, right? He's down on himself, the fans are down on him, all that stuff. If he starts playing well, people will turn it around. And we need him to play well for the playoffs. We need his floor space and we need his three-point shooting. That would be so valuable for us, whether it's in the play-in or and especially the playoffs, right? And then, D'Lo, again, these 2 guys I'm really going to be watching, right? I'm really going to be keeping my eye on Beasley and D'Lo. Obviously, D'Lo, we know what he can do. Even if D'Lo has a bad game against Minnesota, which, knock on wood, I hope doesn't happen. But even if he does, We know what D'Lo is capable of. I'm not really worried about D'Lo regardless, but this is a game that I want to see that pride. I want to see those plays. I want to see him really gut this out and really just show like, hey, I'm here, right? Like, look what you guys made a big mistake, but it's okay. Now I'm with the Lakers. Now we're going to go run for this chip. Me and the Lakers, we're going to go get this chip, right? Now I got I got Anthony Davis. I got LeBron James, got Austin Reeves. I got Beasley. I'm hoping Beasley's out here just draining them, right? Again, it's a court you're very familiar with. Both of these guys. I mean, D'Lo was playing on this court, 2 months ago. So this is something that we've been waiting for. We were waiting for D'Lo in that Timberwolves game, and then he ended up sitting out, and it was like, oh, man. But we got this, right? Game is so important, so valuable. This moves us into the 7th seed. And then at that point, we're in control of the 7th seed. If we win this game, we are in control of the 7th seed because we have the tiebreaker against the Pelicans, and we would have one game in the loss column on the Timberwolves. So at that point, it's just weathering the storm. It's just making sure that we don't have more losses than the Timberwolves, and we have, at worst, the same amount of losses as the Pelicans. And we're good. We're the 7th seed. We got home court going into the play-in. It also gives us an opportunity to inch closer to maybe getting that 6th seed. Some of these teams still have a tough spot, still have some tough games ahead, but I trust the Lakers. These 3 guys, I need to see that. I need to see a big games from these guys. I need to see. I would love if this is a game where LeBron has like 15 points and Anthony Davis has like, 14 points or something like that. And it's not because they're having bad games. It's because we're just running them out the gym because D'Lo's got like 25. Beasley's got 20. Vanderbilt's got like 8 and 8. Austin Reeves has got like, I would love to see a balanced attack where we have 7, 8 guys in double figures and we're just running the Timberwolves out the gym. I want to see that. I would love to see that. That to me would be just ideal. Home run, chef kiss, whatever you want to call it, right? I would love that. I would love if LeBron James and Anthony Davis got to take the night off, like essentially, right? They established themselves early. Maybe AD gets like 10 points in the first quarter or something like that. LeBron's got like 8. We're just running them out the gym. And then LeBron and AD are just kind of coasting the rest of the way. That would be beautiful. I would love that. I would love to see AD. It's like, why did AD only have 15 points? Oh, he only took 8 shots? Like, why did he only take it? Oh, because he didn't need to take more than that, right? LeBron only had 15. Why? Oh, he only took, 7 shots. Why did that happen? Oh, because he didn't need to. D'Lo went off for 30. Beasley gave us 22. Vanderbilt gave us 12. Reeves gave us 15. Rui gave us 12. And you're just going down the list and you're just like, God, like, whew, like, this is the Lakers. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see the confidence. I want to see, us show that fire, that competitiveness. This is, again, arguably the most important game of the season. Let's act like it. Let's go out there. Let's go get this W. Let's get this win. And, we'll talk about it in the post game. So, anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts, spins down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think these 3 guys step up? Do you think just one of them? Do you think 2 of them? Do you think Beasley can turn it around? Do you think he can't? D'Lo, what do you expect? What do you want to see? Love to hear it. Let me know down